Craig, it's been an incredible league season, 30 wins and just 2 draws, no defeats. But as someone who often says in the press conference interviews that you strive for perfection all the time, how do you look back over those stats? Do you look back at the 2 draws sometimes and think, if only?
Of course you do, to try and make everything better. You can't, I'm very much not one to rest on my laurels. I'm one that, ultra critical to myself, sometimes over critical to players and staff. I'm only that probably because I'm so critical of myself. I would never point fingers without, first and foremost, when anything doesn't go the way we want it to, the first person I look at is the person in the mirror. And can I do, or could I have done anything better, and demand the same from players and staff. But I think probably up with Bala, it's a tough place to go, and the game the way it was, I think that one was probably a fair result. But the one that I probably look back in is probably Barry, because for us to be 2-0 at home, winning 2-0 at home against near enough everybody and anybody with 5 to 7 minutes left, and then they end up equalising 2-2 at the death, then it's really disappointing. But look, if that hadn't happened, we may have carried on in a sloppy manner, and we might have been beat the next game. It's something that I've used for a carrot and a stick for the players. The carrot has been being the first. Let's not forget, this football club's had some very good footballers, some very good managers, very good teams. So to be the first group of players to have gone all season without getting beat is a fantastic accolade for everybody. So that's been the carrot. In the stick has almost been the way that we capitulated against Barry Town at home. I couldn't tell you when it was, or 11 months back. So it's been a useful exercise, really.
We began the domestic campaign last summer with a league game and a cup game against Connah, and that's how we're ending the season as well. Do you feel that last weekend's 2-0 victory against the Nomads could perhaps be a psychological advantage for the New Saints this Sunday?
Look, that's Connah are the only team that are going to be able to answer that. From our point of view, nothing's going to change. We've got a lot of respect for Connah. I've got a lot of respect for the club. Obviously, a club I spent time with, had a very successful time there. Assisted Andy in a very successful period. Won a trophy myself as manager, and got a lot of respect for the club and Gary Dewhurst. But from our point of view, we'll approach the game the way we approach every single game, concentrating mainly on ourselves, understanding the strengths that Connah have got. And I must admit, they played really well on Sunday. They come and give her a good game, and I've got to say credit where credit's due. They probably should have went ahead in the first half. I thought we were good value for our win after that, but they did have a couple of good opportunities in the first half. Connah's made a great save, and Danny Davis made a fantastic block. So we know their strengths. We know where they're at their strongest in the style of play they're probably going to play. So it was a good game. I think it was a really good game for the Welsh Premier League as well.
Well, we have played them 5 times already this season. This will be the 6th time. As far as the aggregate score is concerned, it's 19-4 in favour of the New Saints. Do you feel, though, Craig, sometimes with the format as it is at the moment, especially when you draw teams in both cup competitions, that it can be a little bit too much?
Possibly. I can understand, the fans' side of it. 6 times in one season is enough for anybody. I'm sure they feel the same as what we do. But I don't know what the answer is. I think it's easy, and I understand fans, players, staff, people involved with the league saying that it's too monotonous, it's play each other 4, 6 times, 5 times with cup game, whatever it may be. But I think the important thing is that, for that negativity to probably go away, then somebody has to come up with a solution. It's all right bringing problems, but the real people that are at the cutting edge of in anything are the ones that bring the solutions. So I think that's a problem that we'll have. What is the solution? In asking myself, I really don't know.
And you have expressed concerns in the past about the cup final being played at league grounds. This time round, Newport County's Rodney Parade. Do you think that's a suitable environment in which to play the National League, the National Cup final?
Yeah, I do, but I'm still going to stick to my guns. First and foremost, it should be played at Cardiff Stadium, the capital of the country, where the FA Cup's played at Wembley. And I'm certainly not complaining whatsoever, because I do think it should be played somewhere where there's not domestic games played for the both teams involved. I think the accolade and the pat on the back and the actual, the well done to getting into that competition's final, then I think you should play somewhere that's not within our domestic league or structure or pyramid. So yeah, I do. Obviously, there's been a lot of things said about it being in South Wales, which I understand, but I think again, for the FAW to stop all that, it should be, named at the start of the season. No one can complain. If that's announced first round of the Welsh Cup, that the final is at Newport County, then everyone knows. I think it's probably, the stick that FAW have had, and the disagreements have been because I think it was probably only announced with the final four, with only Cardiff Met from being in the south. So yeah, they've on one hand, you got to say hats off and congratulations to them for playing it at a football league ground somewhere not in our domestic pyramid. But then obviously the logistics and the geographic travel to it, on a Sunday night at 5:30 is a really tough one for, again, supporters to be at. And we all know football top to bottom is nothing without supporters, really.
And you've often spoken, Craig, about how difficult it is to go with the starting 11,
Yeah.
especially this Sunday, the very last game of the season.
Yeah.
It's a cup final. All the players want to play. Has it been extra difficult this time round to go with that starting 11?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's really difficult because obviously a cup final is always a fantastic place to be. We're very fortunate that a lot of our players have been involved with a lot of cup finals in big games, and it is from my side. But again, I will upset people. It's part and parcel of the job. The main thing is that I pick the team that I think is going to be best for the day to win it for the team, the football club, first and foremost, and then obviously try to be as honest as what I can about winning the football game, and then that will always happen. I might upset a few people along the way, but I think people that have been in football long enough understand it's football. That's what happens. It's just football. It's not personal. I always pick the team that is best for, and I've referred to it a few times. I've been on the wrong end of situations like that in my career, where I played most games leading up to a Wembley Cup final and I was left out completely. So it's I understand it. It's tough. I've been there. I've seen it. I've done it. But it doesn't make it any easier, because it's the really sort of not the nice side of management.
And what is the injury situation like going into this weekend's game, especially with the back four?
Yeah.
Because we've seen players slotting into positions that hasn't necessarily been their first choice. But
Yeah.
you've been happy with the way they performed?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone that's come in has done a fantastic performance, and and ideally, we would have had everyone fit and available for last Sunday's game. Possibly could have been, but I look at it and we've got obviously a cup final coming up the week later, and players have done well that have played. So I've probably, we're going to have 3 or 4 more players available, certainly 3 available for Sunday, which obviously is going to make my job harder. And I've got to make a decision whether I'm going to play them or not. And I made the decision not to play them on Sunday, and give them extra time in training to be, to hopefully be ready, fully fit for Sunday.
And as you always say, Craig, the next game is the most important one. But at what stage then will you begin to think and focus and prepare for the European campaign, which isn't that far away?
Yeah, it's already been. It's the cogs are in motion. The wheels are running. We probably the day. You always have an eye on it, but the day we actually officially won the league against Cardiff Met, obviously everyone's congratulating each other, and and then the minute I get home, it's right what we're doing, where we're going pre-season, games we're getting, how long we're going to be in, what's the build-up going to look like, who could we possibly get, I need to recruit, and I need to let these players know that I'm bringing in, that we're going to be starting on the 27th of May, it's just all from then. Obviously we had a good lead, so probably 2-3 weeks before that, realistically. But again, you don't want to be presumptuous and jump the gun, and you want to wait till it's completely done before you start making concrete decisions and arrangements. So I don't know what date that was when Cardiff met at home. 6 weeks ago, was it now? 6-7 weeks ago. So that's been an ongoing thing for a month or two now. So yeah, we very fortunate with winning the league that early. It gives you a month or two's head start on your preparation for European football.
And finally, Craig, it is our final press conference of the season.
Yeah.
On behalf of the New Saints media team, we'd like to thank you for your support and encouragement over the past 11 months, I guess, really. It's a long season, isn't it? Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, not a problem. I'd like to thank yourself and Sam as well. I think you're obviously the other end of the camera, but both of you do an amazing job, and all the players and the staff appreciate the job you do. And, so thank you very much for your time and effort.